So Pixar's Onward came out this month, and it's not doing so hot. It may be due to a certain thing going around all over the world, but it might also be for some other reasons. Because after I watched it, I thought it was good, but there felt like there was something missing. I'm not sure exactly what that is, but I'm going to try to figure it out by talking about it in this video. So Onward takes place in this fantasy world where magic has sort of disappeared for a few hundred years. So you have these mythical creatures like elves, centaurs, ogres, trolls, whatever, living in this sort of modern society, where they have modern technology and electricity, and not using magic. Magic is just sort of forgotten because it was hard to master, and everybody wanted to go the easy way and, use technology. The story follows two brothers, and on the 16th birthday of the younger brother, their mother gives them a present from their father, who is now deceased. And they find out that he actually delved in magic, and he has a spell to bring him back for just a day. However, they kind of bungle it, and they only get the bottom half of him, so he's just legs. And the gem that helped make the spell is now broken, so they have to go find another one. And that's their quest for this movie. So it's sort of a family road trip movie, just with two brothers and half of a dad. And they do sort of a Weekend at Bernie's type thing, where the top half of him is just clothes. But the story and premise itself, I don't really have much of a problem with. It's a pretty good premise, and a good sibling story, and a very good moral with that story with brotherhood. However, I didn't connect to it that much, mainly because I'm an only child, I don't have any siblings. And family stuff like that doesn't really connect to me as much unless I'm really invested in the characters. And I don't think the characters were, bad or anything. I think Tom Holland and Chris Pratt did good performances, and even though they're, really high-profile actors because of the Marvel Cinematic Universe and everything, they didn't feel like they were those actors. It felt like they were the characters. So that's good. And some of the side characters are pretty funny. They have some great lines and scenes with them. I like the Manticore, especially. However, I think the main problem that I have with this movie, and the reason that I think a lot of people just aren't connecting with it as much and not wanting to go see it, is because the world doesn't feel fully realized. It's a pretty interesting concept to have a modern society with mythical creatures, but you only sort of see it as some sight gags, and that's it. And the history of this world, rejecting magic and embracing technology, is a fascinating history, but they don't really explore it too much other than a scene in the beginning where the brother is trying to protect a monument. I don't want to say it's, glossed over or anything, because they do bring it up a couple more times, though very lightly. It just seems like it should be a lot bigger with the story and have a lot more stakes, but it somehow feels shallow and dense at the same time, if that makes any sense. And it's that problem with the world where it doesn't feel quite as realized as it should be, is why I think a lot of people just aren't connecting that much with it. Even though audiences do tend to like it has a pretty good high rating on Rotten Tomatoes right now with the audience score, but not a lot of people are just going out to see it. Because I've seen advertisements and everything, and Tom Holland and Chris Pratt are big actors a part of this movie, but people are just kind of to the idea. It just seems like it should be a lot bigger, Another thing is that, while it does look good, it doesn't look nearly as good as Pixar's past few films. Toy Story 4, even though I didn't like that quite as much as the other Toy Stories, it had a significant improvement in all of the visuals. For Onward, it just kind of looks like it could be from any other studio, but people expect a lot more from Pixar, especially in the visual department. Where The Good Dinosaur was, excellent in the visual department with all of its backgrounds and everything, it lacked in the story department for a lot of people. Where Onward is, the flip-flop of that. In this grand, modern fantasy world that they made, it doesn't really feel that grand. I still think it's a good movie. If it was any other studio's movie, it would be, one of their best. But, it's Pixar, so expectations are really high. So yeah, those are some of my thoughts on Onward. I do think it's good. If you want to see it, go out to see it. If not, you can, wait for it on Disney+. Pixar does have another movie this year called Soul, which is going to be interesting how they do that. We don't know exactly what it's going to be like at the moment because there isn't another trailer, but we'll see. It might be another Inside Out type of movie from what we've seen so far, and hopefully it is. So if you've seen Onward, tell me down in the comments, and I'll see you next time. Bye!